Hello and welcome to Newcastle Fan Channel, the channel that talks about everything Newcastle United. And today we're going to talk about the fact that Rafa Benitez, first he's come out with this statement where he said basically the club did not support him, the club didn't have the same vision for the club, and that he loves the fans, he loves the club, he fell in love with Newcastle, but basically Mike Ashley's ownership pretty much is hinting at it. It's just not in keeping. He doesn't really want the club to grow, so he doesn't feel it's in keeping with his ambition. Now, I think everyone knew this was on the cards. It's widely been known that Rafa's been disagreeing with Mike Ashley ever since we got promoted, really, from the Championship. So it's been, I think it's, we knew this would come out. A lot of the times people haven't criticised Mike Ashley because when they've left, they've had settlement deals or they've had compensation packages, but because Rafa's contract's expired, he's free to say what he wants. I actually think more will come out from in the next few months when more media ask him and see how he's doing, that he will actually reveal more stuff. So I think it's all a bit raw, and probably Rafa's refraining a little bit, but soon I think the stories will come out of how he was treated for the last 2 years in particular. Now, the other news that has come out is that he has agreed to manage Dalian Yifang, a team in the Chinese Super League. His wage is meant to be £12 million pounds a year, which is double what he was earning at Newcastle. The players that you probably recognise that they have is Marek Hamsik, who obviously was a player at Napoli who Rafa worked with, and Yannick Carrasco, who scored in the Champions League final for Atletico Madrid. And he's been widely linked with a return to Arsenal this summer because supposedly he's unhappy with settling in Europe. Now, for me, if I was Rafa's agent or I was Rafa's friend, I would personally have advised him to wait. I think he would have had a very good chance at some top jobs. Let's remember that when Rafa came to Newcastle, he just suffered a sacking at Real Madrid. Newcastle was the perfect rehabilitation job for him, because if you remember, that Real Madrid side that he left went on to win 4 Champions Leagues in 5 years. So, they won three Champions Leagues. 3 Champions Leagues in 4 years. And so he was seen as he would have seen it as a failure for him. Now, he's come to Newcastle, he's really rehabilitated his reputation, and I think he would have had a really good chance at a really good job for him somewhere in Europe. So let's remember, in Italy, he's managed in Italy, he's managed in Spain, and he's managed in England, so there would have been jobs to have come up. I personally feel Rafa would have been perfect for Arsenal. Arsenal's big issue is defensively. They are not sound. They actually go forward very well. They create a lot of chances to score lots of goals. But for me, they're defensively not sound. And I think Unai Emery, he needs a bit of time. But still, I think Rafa is an improvement on Unai Emery in terms of his organisation of the team. But he's decided to go to China, and I think he might come back to regret that unless he has some sort of release clause that if a big club came in and he wanted to go, then he'd be free to go, which I wouldn't be surprised if Rafa... I think Rafa probably knows, because he has stated in the past that, if he wants to win trophies again and he wants to, win the Champions League again, which it's not going to happen at Dalian Yifang. I think if we're honest, it's a great financial project, but really, is it what he wants? Is it really going to get him going? I don't think it will. It might feel like, they're trying to develop Chinese football, they're trying to improve it and so forth, and there's lots of money available and so forth, but it's not top level, European football. So I think he may come to regret it. I'm annoyed personally, because I felt that if the takeover did happen, then we could go and get Rafa back if he was unattached, let's say. But now he's gone for this job in China. I think it kind of rules out any sort of return. So I think we have to accept probably that Rafa won't manage Newcastle again, which is very, very sad, because we loved him. He's a great coach for me, defensively, so sound, organisation so key, and he just handled himself really, really well. But it is what it is. We have to accept it and move on. and but I wish Rafa well in his chance in China.